Good afternoon, chitty chat people. How we all doing today, day? Oops, didn't need that. Didn't need that at all. Boom, boom, boom. So I see again. We are starting off with a great new bunch of people. Not yet. Not yet. He says. Not yet. Anyhow, let's just dive straight into it then, because we got nothing much more to set. But we will go into the slight recap that we did last time. So on our last run through, our last piece, what happened is we began the journey to Charlian. On the way, we encountered Heidelin, got a few words in with the young lady, and had some wonderful, interesting points, some foreshadowing and all, before zipping off and dippity-doo-daring into Charlian. But soon after we get there, we find out, oh, there are problems in Thavnair. One of the Thalapanoi's towers is sprung up there, and they are in trouble, calling for the Warrior of Light to come help them. They have a cunning plan, but the wonderful villain, the Chalafaroi, also has learned of the alchemist's brilliant plan to combat his towers. Now, we join our hero. Adventure in progress. Alright. So, last time we left ourselves just outside of town, just at the Etherlight. We kind of moved ourselves a bit because the weather was just nasty. Who wants to stand out in the rain? Really? So we have a long haul up. Those that are the astute will indicate that I've already moved into 82 as level. Right? I do some side leveling on the side that isn't part of the MSQ. The boring things such as running a couple low-end duties to basically fill up some experience while we're all waiting. I didn't run that because it's the MSQ duty off the duty cycle. And I'm racing some chocobos. This quest gives gives a decent amount of experience. Anyway, we needed that. Great armor. Nice. Fruit of this. Fruit. Nice. Standard things, going and dumping off our stuff to our retainers to basically make sure that everything's nice and neat. Or at least if not neat, held on tightly. So, once again, 30 Tower of Thalaphanoi. Let's see if this cunning plan they have will easily defend against them. Still don't have enough of our attunement to basically alrighty then. And finally, we will do our what these two buffs do is give us a bonus experience boost. 15% if you have your squadron go fetch them, and food gives a general 3% experience bonus. Ooh, ugly eggs. Oh. Walrus. Not like a walrus, huh? Hello there, sirs. Yeah, it's a nice boat, isn't it? It is. Get on board and be on our way. Oh. Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. Dog's in trouble.
We should soon cross the threshold of the tower's influence. Any moment now.
Nifty! That looks like it works just well.
It's working! And you are still yourself? Then I'd like to see how it fares closer to the tower if we could.
Who's driving this boat? I'm standing in the front, you're standing in the mid.
So far, so good. The scale's protection appears to be holding. If we can just make it to the tower's entrance.
I have a funny feeling it's about to wear off.
A few more steps. Praise be to the sisters, we made it! And the scale has proven itself to be everything we hoped it would be. Now we can focus on production. Once we've equipped and returned with an entire survey team, this menace will soon give up its secrets. What?
We knew something bad was about to happen. Didn't quite expect that. I was expecting it to wear off. Hope she didn't drop it. That would be in the bad things category. Nice big round area.
Oh, let me go! Oh, let me go! Oh.
Perhaps.
Oh, do calm down. You'll only hurt yourself thrashing about like that.
Ah!
Stop! Oh, you can't do this! Please!
A little late for heroics, I'm afraid. The similarities are striking. My! Such hostility! Never before has my artistry so displeased. My patrons of old would have positively squealed in delight, though, between you and me, I find gushing praise exhausting.
What are you talking about?
Allow me to tell you a story. Surely you've yet to hear the one about Thavnair, the sundered Ascian.
All right.
I inherited the position and the soul of the Thavnair who sat on the convocation in the time of the final days, theoretically speaking. Practically speaking, that fact is of no consequence. I was born and lived as, well, me. Eventually, I was recruited into the Ascians and imbued with the former Thavnair's knowledge and memories, but I never felt that they were truly a part of who I am. How to explain? Perhaps if I told you who I was before my Ascian embrace, although that chapter too is a past I've long since discarded. I have it on good authority you've poked your nose into an Allegan ruin or two. Yes?
Clunk, clunk, boom, boom. Let's see what he's got to
Then
say.
I expect you've heard of me. The old me.
Uh-oh. There goes the echo.
At your service.
Almond. Summoner?
Imagine a nation of unbridled prosperity. Every need met, day after day of unbroken, unshakable peace. Existence fulfilled and ripe for decay.
You are a genius without peer, Amon. How ever do you conceive of such delightful experiments? That fool was beside himself with panic when he awoke with the head of a bull. Even his cries for help emerged as so much guttural lowing. Oh, the memory of it. My poor sides. My friends and I were so consumed by laughter we struggled to breathe.
No more than entertainment for bored wastrels ignorant of its worth. My all-consuming work.
Okay.
But it was not their only indulgence. For they were ever hungry for stimulation. Slaves to the slightest hint that amusement was afoot.
Okay, so everyone's bored out of their skulls.
Our nation was ailing, but I would see the poison purged. I resurrected a legend, our first and greatest emperor. And just as I had planned, he set our wayward empire back on the path of conquest. An inexhaustible ambition carried us onwards, always onwards. Yet, he who delivered to us such glory was not to be satisfied.
Heed me, Amon. No matter how vast one's empire, or full one's treasure vault, all is rendered meaningless by death.
Good words to live
In
by.
the end, all is lost.
You know as well as I that the Emperor stands to lose this war. And so I have come to claim you. For while your methods leave something to be desired, we cannot deny the results of your work. And as fortune would have it, the seat of Fandaniel, your rightful seat, lies vacant and waiting. Take your place amongst your peers, rather than die a pointless death amidst the ashes of your doomed nation.
Error?
Send one of your clones to the Crystal Tower that you might see for yourself.
Clones.
See what lies ahead.
The fall of the Empire affirmed the truth. Majestic and tragic, as the Emperor foresaw. Scheme as you like, build as you will, nothing endures. What is life but a brief jaunt ending in emptiness?
Okay. Come on. Halligan. Surprised more people don't punch us out when we're like that. We really get away with it, don't we?
So easily distracted. Why, I almost left without saying farewell. As for your friend, you needn't worry. These pawns are far more useful to me alive as fuel for the primals. If you attempt to pull them free, they will die. So, enjoy tackling that conundrum with your comrades. We shall meet again! Not in one of these minor spires, oh no, but somewhere more suitably grandiose. Your favorite playmate is ever so eager to see.
Put them in the ground once, we will do it again. Let's make more ball. That was a terrible piece. Power has grabbed her and pulled her in. Indeed. Let's get there in style. Actually, let's head down the beach. Oh, only the star. Mostly because it maps the section out. Why not drive on the beach? Oop, puddle. Mac and Cheese has managed to find her way through line. Hasta la fall. Good old Chokibo music. Something's gone awry, hasn't it? Yeah. Oh yeah. Our villain now has a name. Juan. Each to their own. Each in their own strengths. Nice. He wishes to meet us. I believe so.
I think we've already met him.
I believe the boy is the satrap, to be honest. I honestly believe this child is the satrap. I suspect it is form he takes. That he's the satrap that has been for so long. And it's like, what do you know? You don't. I'm guessing. I'm guessing, but my gamer sense is tingling. It's only slightly better than porno sense when that tingles. But fine. Point to be made. Smack the tree. Point to be made when you suspect certain things. It's like, what makes you suspect the child? Let's go over the details. Previous one disappeared a short while ago. Placed with this. It's interesting that it's a child, and you had a child before do the job. Why would you send the previous one on a mission overseas? Somewhere where no one could ever see what they looked like ever again. And I'm sure they don't return. You seem to be quite intrigued with the Dragoon and the Dragon. So, dragon possessing human. It's not unknown for dragons to take human form, especially with the that's a Dungeons and Dragons classic trope. But we know that you can get the people who can transform into dragons according to the Heaven Song War. So we may have just that in Ol-Ra, who's, you know, and dragons are quite timeless creatures, able to live thousands of years. Hence my suspicions. And like I said, his reaction to Estinian. Everyone, Estinian, your words. Ah. Rianger. B. B. Here we go. Cutscenes, cutscenes.
A vast rock squats upon Thavnair, and to its stony surface clings the city of Rads at Han. Ye who enter here are subject to the scrutiny of gods, the gate's most watchful eye. The orb which beholdeth the truth of all things.
Neat. Oh, it happens to be that. That's why that symbol is. Okay. Couldn't quite make it out.
Pass beneath its hot and piercing gaze, bearing down like a second midday sun.
People love long staircases, don't they?
The fragrant haze, a mixture of sweet incense and acrid smoke. The cries of merchants mingled here with lively melodies accented by dancers' feet.
Yep.
Travelers seduced by vivid sound and colors were once swallowed up by patchwork streets.
Nice. Ilzabard. Razathan.
But no such scenes to savor now. To what somber present does that divine eye bear witness?
Scared people hiding indoors from a terrible event out in the world. All praying for a savior to kill and defeat that which threatens all of them beyond the gates of their doors. Feeling that many of us know this day well enough. Well enough.
Here we are, Megadota. It seems a shame to bring you here directly. Under normal circumstances, it would have been my pleasure to show you the sights.
And it would have been our pleasure to see them. Alas, it seems our tour of the city will have to wait.
I'm afraid so. Come, we should head inside. Your Excellency, may I present our honored visitors?
Oh no, I was wrong. I goof.
Ah, splendid. Most splendid.
Unless decoy.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Ahawan, satrap of Radzatan. Our alchemists tell me your assistance was invaluable in the creation of the warding scale. Such deeds ought to be recognized in person. Thus did I have young Varshan convey you here forthwith. On behalf of my people, may I express to you our sincere gratitude.
Padme, possibly?
I assume you speak of Nadana. A regrettable incident indeed. Her colleagues insist that we honor her wishes and trust in the talisman, that it will be instrumental in saving Nadana and the others. I am eager to hear your opinion on the matter, so let us not stand on ceremony. Come, sit.
I think not. This charade has gone on long enough. Show yourself.
Forgive me, but were you expecting musicians, perhaps? There are no performers waiting in the wings at present, but arrangements could be made if you'd prefer.
Nay, he hath the right of it. The time for artifice is past. Raise the curtain.
As you wish.
You travel as assistants to the students of Valdesian, but you are known to me. Even here have we heard of the scions of the Seventh Dawn.
One of his brood?
And for years uncounted hath this isle served as mine abode.
Vritra, of the first brood, sibling to Hraesvelga and Nidhogg.
Aye, mine elder brothers, of Midgard Sorma's spawn. I was last to hatch.
Well, isn't this a surprise? We were told Radzat had an alliance with a dragon. Not that a great worm sat in the satrap's own hall.
A necessary subterfuge, as the true tale of our nation history illustrates most effectively. In the beginning, the rock upon which our city is built was home to Vitra, and Vitra alone. In time, the ancestors of the Matanga came to the island and established a foothold. But never did they dare disturb the worm's lair. Next to arrive with the Aura, adopting the example of their Akasodra allies, they too treated Vitra with reverence and respect. And for many years, an understanding between our forefathers and the Great Worm endured. Until marauding heroes from the mainland came, threatening to shatter our peace and tranquility. When it seemed all would be drowned in blood, Vitra himself came forth and quelled the rising conflict. A peaceful accord was reached, and oaths sworn in Vitra's name. Thus began the dragon's governance of the fledgling state, which was to grow into Radzat.
But if Vritra is still here, then your position as satrap is just...
A charade, yes. And one which my family has performed faithfully for generations.
Many envy the Great Worms their power. Were it known that I ruled here, then the fires of war would burn without end. I would not be the flame which consumeth my people. Those few who joined me in laying our country's foundations were, perforce, sworn to secrecy.
Your eye. It was taken.
'Tis here, buried within the semblance of flesh. The body before thee is but a simulacrum,
Got it.
constructed
Did
by
get
the
it.
finest artisans of Razatan. With mine eye nestled within, it doth serve as an inconspicuous vessel for
Called
my
it.
wit.
Not quite exactly what I thought, but I was right. Child was the Emperor.
That would explain why I felt the presence of a dragon upon our first meeting.
I am woven with words fashioned to deceive such arcane senses. Though 'twas short-lived, it seemeth thy fusion with my brother hath left thee much altered. Estinian warm blood. From the very first, we sensed the nature of one another. Yet did neither one of us bare his fangs. That is all I need know of thee for now.
With my secret thus revealed, I have for you a proposal. Not as a worm of the first brood, but as the ruler of Rad's Adan. With all haste must we take in hand the finished talismans and breach this foul spire. Thence, should it lay within our power, dispel its wicked influence. Yet even with the assurance of the warding scales, the narrow confines of the tower doth limit the size of our force.
Oh, gotta send adventurers in to go stomp the castle.
And thus denied strength in numbers, thou must choose thy soldiers with care.
Ta-da!
Just so. Yet though our radiant host is formidable, I see a surer path before me. Thou and thy comrades have contended with a multitude of primal beings. Most recently, thou didst cast down false gods in Padothan and Cartanau, I am told. 'Tis upon that strength I would call. The Scions have proven themselves the most capable, and I ask that you serve as the tip of our spear.
That's doable.
Talismans would, of course, be provided for each of thy companions. And should you agree to this undertaking, more will be provided to make use of as you see fit.
There's no denying it's a dangerous proposition, but the rewards may far outweigh the risk. Just think of what we might accomplish if we could equip all our allies with warding scales. I worry, however, that even the four of us may be too few for what you have in mind. Might we regroup with our friends first to discuss the matter?
'Tis no trifling task that I have laid before you. Go. Steel your hearts and hone your plans. Such time as you require shall be spent in crafting your protective charms.
Fair enough.
It seems a quick trip back to Sharlayan is in order.
Wilt thou not lend thine aid?
Whether your request be made as a great worm or the ruler of Rad's Adan, I see no reason to refuse, nor will I.
I am in thy debt.
Oh, how well did we call that one? Further words from Asinian. Can I enter the city? Nope. Looch. Don't see any other quests here. I might go for a drive around the island, I think. Burn up! Or one can go challenging all that. One must, of course. Where are we going? 195 north. On the hill. That's just pleasant. Let's roll. Rolly. How about that? Suspension just won't handle it. I'll check up here. Go! Pedestrian! Fun times for all. Where is this thing hiding? Oh no. Aha! Ah! Ah! Alright, we're not going to be able to get that one too. Look along this cliff face. It doesn't look like there's a way down any place around here. That's a high point. It doesn't look like there's a way down around here. So probably to get there you have to go through the city. That's probably the city's up here, but there's probably a route down through the city gateway up there. This is probably cliff face all the way along here, just to prevent you from swimming out there. May or may not have something great. Well, that's a ridiculous price. We ain't paying that. Quick, back to Limsa Liminsa. Oh, terrible. Crazy people doing crazy things. Everyone's here. Down the alley. And the time I spent off doing other things while waiting. Run! 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 We came up with all sorts of goodies. Not bad. please. Ah. Well, I didn't really have a good look down here. Yay, there's some blue quests down here. Hunt for specimens, do this. Grab these, please. Blue quests are blue plus quests, or the plus quests, and lead to all sorts of goodies. One day I might actually fulfill that log. One day I might actually take to filling out that log. See, there's a quest right here, which is Thieves of Old Charlian. I'd say that's a crafting means. Yeah, missed the turn on that one. Well, if that's the case, I think we should do this little section here. Instead of turning that, basically at the books. I do think so. Diminutive Gleaner. What do you glean, little one? Go talk to the hunt board people. Oh, wait, I can get down that way over there. Side quests are side quests. We'll do side quests as we do things. We want to stay to pretty much the main and blue quests. Okay. Build ship hunts are now accessible. Oh! Fair enough. Level up to a bit more and you can get more. I thought so. These are like... So, oh, there we are. Alright, zip up to the studium. We're going to catch up with Kyle's part. That's pretty much it, isn't it? Oops. Wrong person. So, let's catch up with what Kyle has to say. Okay. Fetch quest. Oh hey, but this is a there's something about this. Collection log. Sightseeing. So basically, that's what that is. It's like, stand there, strike a pose. Right? There's 46 of them here. It's something. I forget which. Like I said, one day I'll do it. But that is another time. Brightly colored book. Long ago, island northern sea, Bulgarian man, name of astrology. Right, that would be one of the umbral eras. Last one was fire. The 6th Umbral Era ended in fire. The 7th was supposed to end in light. So, one of them was water. It flooded the whole world and destroyed itself in its ether. We're back to this one flooding the world. Need more stuff. Funny that. College guys are always after a little more funding, aren't they? 50 years later, after establishing it as an outpost, it was classed as a colony. They're crap, aren't they? That's good. Yes, they did. Still a good place to visit. City. The Elysia Public Forum, which every citizen is eligible to speak. Okay, sounds good. Deal. Can't have everyone yelling at everything. Direct democracies do not work in the long term. They're way too mechanically slow to actually deal with problem resolution in a timely manner. Just think how big a city is, and if you had to get every single person had to speak, had to speak for at least 5 minutes on their feelings about a law to put up or to dedicate a tree. If nothing more than just the procedural tapping of the hammer to say nothing to be added to this conversation. It would take days to get through it all. Just days. Representatives are a better form. Because even then, imagine having to do a full day's work, or even stream, and then also read 1,000 or 2,000 page bills written by your fellow peers before having to vote on it by taking part of your day out to do it. Gravity. Short and long of it is, right? The short explanation is gravity makes your planet. Now I understand why I don't know why they call it a star. Finally, every time they referred to previously this star, I kept thinking of the star, meaning their sun, not the planet that they sit upon. For once, it's sort of hammered out. It may have been hammered out in some other quest, but detail. Alamud was not a launch for that. Dalamud was the dark moon that was a imprisonment for Bahamut, primal Bahamut. That was the meteor event that ended the 6th Umbral era and started the 7th. Okay, that sounds good. Just a general, hey, you know, be good to each other type book. I can live with that. Six combo Archon of no. Six Umbral. That must have been the one that started the 6 Umbral Calamity. Everyone's hanging out here. Yeah, some interesting glamours. Some very interesting glamours indeed. But these two should be the first two here. Well, I didn't have a lot to read to. He's taken a little too over the top, hasn't he? Of course I do. That's the whole planet's going to go kaboom, and you guys are all fighting amongst each other. So, taking the entry cutscene into offer, I think I know what the dumb bums are up to. Get your minion up to the point. No. Get off. Be gone, little Byako cow, little white tiger. Shoot. Get off. Go away. And with our selections. Oh, that might. Easy doc. Happy to adjust. Tink, tink, yeah. Where to begin? Starfall. Stabilization, creation. Fortunately, you have a summoner of note. Keening sound. Cracking. Quick review of the last game. And wait some more. Waiting again. I got clever this time. I brought a snack bar for the stream. Large cup of tea and a snack bar. Kind, easy. Fruit and nut. Not that kind of nut. I know it's no longer November, but damn it, you people. Good call. Stand in silence. Don't get the book reading. Someone's not so happy about all that reading. Huzzah! Hands this. Figured it might be that way. Why would you? People. Space! I know that. Coffee sounds awesome. Coffee sounds awesome. What do you prefer there? First, just a straight drip, something espresso, espresso drink, drip drink. You know, are you latte drinkers, cappuccinos, macchiato, maybe French press, something else, cold brew. All very yummy choices. I get to crack a new bag of coffee tomorrow for tomorrow morning's lovely coffee. Limit myself to one caffeinated one a day just because too much caffeine just makes you jittery and has to get up and pee a lot. interesting. Unfortunately, I was like, you're going to get that. Someone's been a particular douchery for that. That's a common top everyone likes to wear. Yes, I don't think I've had the pleasure. Mmm. Someone's just getting razzed on badly. Poor Alizé. Coffee. Neat. Black. Right, this double espresso, or as they're better known, a short black. Coffee's always ordered differently around the world. You gotta learn what it is. Walk into a Tim's and go for a double-double. That's 2 cream, 2 sugar. On a drip brew coffee. Walk in a Starbucks and ask for a double-double. They'll look at you weirdly like, what is that? You might think it's 2 cream, 2 sugar, but it's not on the menu. They may not know what it is. Enough about coffee. Back to the game. Aha! Who's the girl? Easy enough done. Uh-oh. Keys for the group it is. Regulars is Lee. I'll take another swing at it. A chatty group by the water. Ah, they wanted the tea. Hey, Z wants an omelette. Of course. Hey, let's dig in, no time to waste. It doesn't rhyme! It doesn't rhyme! Still, it's a great shirt. Of course, you want the baked lobster. oven baked. Fine. I don't know. Would oven baked lobster be nice? I mean. So they are preparing for something. Baby doll? Yes, she is. Oh, I thought the Mughals in the background. Turns out they have absolutely no idea what's happening. Forms kept them in the dark. Sweet. Yo. I agree. Good coffee is enjoyed in good company and only good company.
When our father disowned us, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It wasn't until much later that his words began to sink in, that I began to feel the weight of what it meant.
Oh.
Do you remember when the decision was made to come to Sharlayan? Grahas said that the Forum was determined to keep us in the dark, and that Father's venomous performance was part of that strategy. To keep us at arm's length.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps it was. Father argued with Grandfather on many occasions, but never with such dismissive contempt. And when he demanded what justifies the sacrifices we make in war, I honestly didn't know what to say. Neither did Alpha know, I know, but never for one moment did I believe we had made the wrong choice. So all I could do was fume silently. It was only afterwards that I realized how childish I had been. How being stubborn and self-righteous must run in the family. If I could have just mustered a civil response, then things might have turned out differently.
I don't think so, Alice. That is a lot of cargo sneaking down waterways.
They must be ferrying goods to Labyrinthos.
Details?
A vast complex beneath the island. Sharlayan is famous for archiving knowledge from around the world. Well, that knowledge is not preserved exclusively in dusty tomes and desiccated samples. Our living library, comprised of all manner of flora and fauna, is housed and studied within that underground facility. Still, that did seem to be an unusually large shipment. When I lived here, it was rare to even see such cargo transported by boat. Wait, didn't you hear something in the last stand about the gleaners coming and going more than usual?
Yes.
Well, I think they're the ones we saw manning those boats. And Gleaner's answer to the Forum. If the appearance of the Telophoroi prompted this sudden burst of activity, then Labyrinthos may hold a clue as to what the Forum is planning.
Right, let's sneak in there. I'm up for a swim. I can hold my breath. Thanks to a commie. Hey, hey. Oh, for the paper cup. Oh, for the paper cup. Well, we're coming about the halfway mark here for a quick break. And I think I'm going to actually move us on to a quick little break type. I think almost. No, maybe punch it all the way through. It's a 3-hour and 45-minute stream planned for today. So we're about an hour 45 now. Almost, not quite. We're coming up on it, so... If chat is up for an early break, or if we'll go for a bit longer to a major point break, hope so. But letting you know, that is on the books. I'd rather run the stream more like running a raid. No. I realize they tell you should run eventually. Well, hey, Beavis! Yo, Beavis, where's Butthead? Mm-hmm. You got served further. On the ground, you may need to... Wait, you found something. About 4 to 8 boats went by. Some dumb large quantity of them. Mm-hmm. Makes sense. And the animals went on the ark 2 by 2. things, no things. Honk! Down the stairs over there. Whee! Stairs. All right. All right, let's hope she was going to run. I don't have an analog stick in play to actually walk. I need to plug in my game control, which is somewhere in my box of goodies. All I have is digital. Okay. Because I doubt you run faster than the standard speed. Keep on the path straight ahead. Path curves. Ow, I didn't expect us to fly over the bridge. I'll take the chicane. Stop on this point again. Oh. Be tuned to the whole everything, so lift operator Chocobo really down here. Such a fine presentation. Elevator music for everyone. I doubt this is going to turn into anything super duper exciting.
Deep beneath the scholar's city shines a false sun within a fabricated sky. In any age exist those who consider the floor an extension of their bookshelves, and this vault's architects surely belonged to that special breed. If the stack grows too high, start a new one. If no room remains, then make more rooms. A simple solution at first, and then bit by bit, a profound transformation.
Sheepy!
Knowledge, buried beneath knowledge, a growing, creeping labyrinth from which there is no escape.
And it's raining. Artificial weather.
Not what you expected. I must admit, the artifice is very convincing. But I assure you that we are beneath Sharlayan itself. The breeze you feel, the flowing waters you hear, all created by the hand of man.
The island is volcanic, you see, and once upon a time this great hollow must have been a reservoir for magma.
Yeah.
It was discovered some 400 years ago, at which point it was repurposed as a storage facility for scrolls and samples and such. Renovations have continued, with nigh or no interruption to this day, with the lower levels still undergoing expansion.
Ah.
Aren't those people gleaners?
Aye, judging by their dress. They are said to work alone as a rule, but 'twould seem that rule is being enthusiastically broken today. It may be as you suspected, that they are engaged in a task apart from the norm.
Let's spread out and get some answers then.
Well, I suspect I'm probably the easiest to get the answers, not just because I'm the main hero, but because I'm just a regular Joe guy looking to them.
Ugh.
Kyle?
Did you call to me just now? No. How odd. I must be a bit dizzy from the descent. I'll be fine, I'm sure. Let's get to work, shall we?
I'm not so sure. How goes your day, sir? Fingers yet not damaged enough. Human seed, snarlberry. The whole thing's going super fast. I think this honk here is going to beat me. Hey, Dobbin. Who's your cousin, Dobby? Basically, everyone's working off their feet. They're damn well tired, and no one knows exactly this. Here's a question. If they're bringing in more and more, where the hell are they stashing it all? I was lost in thought. Alright. Towards we head. Marmots. I'm good at this sort of thing. Agaxian marmots. Well, to the east, then. Actually, they all went this way. Bring... What a big scaly thing you are. Troll. Gotta be some bridge you gotta find to live under. You're aggressive, so... Ah! I spotted your pup. Aha! Oh, you are just being an evil little bugger, aren't you? Yes, you are. You went this way. Where are you hiding? Get to run skiddly up off this way. Up there you are. All this trouble for one moosey. Don't run off this time. He went this way. Now there's a face only a mother can love. Oh, you're up the hill. Buddy. Yep, do not stand in that. you can look at the wall here. Okay, if I open up the mini-map, you can see I got half on the bottom. Because it's going to be a pain in the butt, it's going to be up here. Almost guaranteed. Hey, it's an ether current. Oh, okay, I'm not going to stand in that. Okay, the moose isn't up here. Ooh, maybe. Maybe I misjudge it. Maybe the moose is down there. Oh, nope, there's the moose. Ah, found him! Emerald left, and I gotta drop Phoenix on someone's bum. Like, hi, by the way. Kaboom! Oh. Not at all. I'm more than willing to wait for you, my dear friend. You finish off putting them all in the box, and I will have this. The test that capture in the first place. Ah. Ding, 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 ding. Yes. Chasing a rat. I'll play. Enclosures too empty. We just did. Empty, he said. No, we're not. Trial. Why does everyone... Oh no, it's nothing, it's nothing, it's nothing. Yeah, it's nothing right up until the point it's no longer nothing. And then, all of a sudden... It's all nothing until something happens, Kyle. You asked if I called you. Is someone calling? Kyle? Dizzy, you said before when you had the previous one that you felt like I'd called you. Did you hear a voice again this time? Remember, Kyle, right? I asked because remember, it wasn't till this sort of thing happened that our journey to the first occurred. That Graha called us to the first. It wasn't till this that Graha had called us to the first. We had similar headaches just before Graha called us to the first. That happen. I expect these pieces to be handed out, so I'm expecting basically a new pair of pants, and first, always first, I know some people will be speedy through this place, like, we have to speed through. Is there a chocobo? Sword trainer? Order. No? There we go. Chocobo key. There's always one, and they're basically like Waymount flights. They can take you back to any place you've been before. Expect any sort of dungeony incident here. We'll try out a game which I really stink at. Do you know when that will be? Harumph. Harumph, I say. Alrighty. Well, we're going to take a quick short break at the start of this quest. And by that, I mean we are going to quickly zippity-doo-dar over to a quick bit of music. And take a quick 5 minute for bathroom breaks and anything else for those watching. I'll be back in just under a few moments. Now, just as I say, just a quick personal break for anyone out there in the wah-wah woo needs to go quickly do bathroom too. And we're back to game. So, as we left, we now have to find some extra quests. Help some people with a few loads that sneak down beneath to the medium. Here's a great just outside the thing. Ah. Amused student. Ew, honk. Don't allow me to help then. Done this before. Green bird that caws. Caw, caw. No, you're red. You're green. Hee. Even a bird. Face is in the water. You might want to get it pretty quick, dude.
A fair shot.
Nice.
Nicely done. Let me truss this one up, and I'll make my way over to you.
Absolutely. A weird way to spend your time, my friend. Being the guy who basically chases around trees and smacks them with a hammer.
There you are. Any new revelations?
Other than I'm absolutely wet because of the rain.
So you met with that gleaner again, this time to capture a hornbill. I understand catching and bringing in creatures from the outside, but what's the point of chasing after ones already here?
I kind of pointed that out a whole friggin' section ago.
It's a simple thing, really. Occasionally, we remove specimens no longer needed for study, or those we've had difficulty raising. But we can't simply turn them loose. Safely returning such creatures to their native habitats is another facet of a gleaner's duties. But not in this case, I'm afraid. I've been asked to bring the bird below.
The restricted section in the lower levels of Labyrinthos. Open only to a select few researchers handpicked by the Forum. The projects down there are the subject of rumor and hearsay. Forbidden magics. Advanced technologies that can never be allowed to fall into outside hands. Even Archons are not privy to the truth. Those who are, the researchers involved in this secretive work, are not permitted to walk freely in the city, and are instead required to live in isolated quarters.
What are we telling this dude for? He knows this stuff.
What could a facility subject to such strict security protocols possibly need with a hornbill? An experiment?
Let's try experimental torrent.
Possibly. I wasn't afforded an explanation. But judging by the requisition list given to me and my colleagues, I doubt it's for any kind of advanced research. I'd be more inclined to believe we were making preparations to migrate to the south. Mericidia or thereabouts.
What? Why would you say that?
Much of the flora and fauna we were asked to procure could serve as reliable sources of sustenance. They're comparatively hardy species, too, able to endure harsh climates. And among them are specimens known to be effective in improving soil quality and purifying water.
When you put it that way, migration does sound like a reasonable assumption.
That's all it is, though. An assumption. Through our tasks, we gleaners glimpse only bits and pieces of the Forum's plans. Our prime concern is that our requisitions, be they living or otherwise, are properly preserved for the knowledge of future generations. Now, I really must be going. I regret that I cannot reward you as you deserve.
Oh, you've done more than enough, my friend.
Perhaps you might reward us after a fashion, then. It is imperative that we reach the lower levels. And seeing as you are already set to descend with your assigned cargo, mayhap we could accompany you as your assistants.
I'm afraid that won't be possible. Once the animals have been prepared for transport, we send them down separately via the lift. I will, of course, follow after to make my report, but I can hardly pass you off as porters when there's nothing left to carry.
Indeed. Pray forget I said anything.
Huh?
How do you feel about climbing? If you've strength and the courage to brave it, then there is another way down. This path leads to the 33rd facet, a mine shaft excavated during one of our expansions of Labyrinthos. While I cannot guarantee that the passage is safe to traverse, it should provide access to the medial circuit below.
I never even knew such a place existed. Thank you. This is the perfect solution.
You're quite welcome, but consider yourselves warned. If the going proves too treacherous, you do well to turn back. I bid you good day.
Well, I think we just found our first dungeon.
Well, turning back is hardly an option, not when we've come this far. Let's go and take a look at this mine shaft.
Duty! Is this a duty or is this a full-on run? That's the real question. So, off we go, down the mine shaft. Loads of fun, let's go do them diggy. Me without my pick. Hurrah! Zippity-doo-doo. It'd be fun if it's something like this, but, you know, it may or may not be. And away we go. Zip, zip, zip-doo. Labyrinth Screamer. Fair enough. Nice. have not even been checking for an ether marker. It's probably right there. 181 northwest. About here. Well, if I'm gonna go quickly do that, I'm gonna just do it on foot. With a friend. Come on, Freya, let's go stretch your legs. To the west now. You're just gonna be a pain in the butt back across the bridge. Over there. Alright, fine. Let's go over there. That haystack is moving. Oh, it's a hunt. Rawr. Oh, you're not being pleasant, are you? Or I was thinking I was just getting right there. Driving the door. That's no fun. That's no fun at all. Besides booting this thing in the boot. Ding on the way back. Suit yourself. Oh, if that's the bottom, then this is the Midian, and we don't have... We're not going to let us jump off the cliffs here, so... We'll have to go through the cave first. Zippity-dah! That way. Enough. Yay! Probably dark in there. It's a cave. Yay! And another piece of armor. What was that? I've got better armor than this is going to give. It's high level 115, but I can use it for one of my other classes because it will transform when I open it. Check with me at the other end of the tunnel. Nope, we're going on and go. Neat. Run through the tunnel again. 33rd facet. Oh, at least I'm out of the wet. A hole big enough for a dragon down here. Destination combat, and we're right timed to fire off a phoenix. Ain't that nice? What do you think, Freya? He gets a boot in the toot. Never mind. That's just a little healing over time. I like how Freya's almost got as much hit points as I do. Kind of really nice. When I'm finished up, oh, someone just beat up the monsters just in front of me. That's cool. Oh, look around. Splat! You get 4 emerald and 4 this, and you only get 2 ruby. It's kind of an interesting one. I wonder if there's part of my traits later on I get 2 more ruby. That's up to 2. Ups the potential of everything. Ups. That. Enhance this. Elemental mastery. Great. I don't know what that means. Unfortunately, it sounds interesting as a trait, but I don't know what exactly it means because I don't have the reference. Is it upgrade my gem shine to basically have a new type of attack? Which is cool. I should be able to get to the Charlene Hamlet in short order. We have also somewhere along the line we ran out of bow power. Oh, we're here for another hour. So, let's charge up again. More orange power. And it's just going to continue to raid. Big egg, queen, and garlic. Wonder what happened to you guys. Uh-oh. Look around. The farms will be empty. I suspect that's what we'll find. Here's the farm, but it's not in attendance. Ooh. Grapes and pumpkins and all sorts of goodies. Reminds me of mine. Fair bit of expedition dump. I doubt that. We'll look into it, but I don't think they'll know anything. I'm sure they need help in hands, and I'm sure they'll be willing to take help in hands. I'm worried about Kryle, though. He's showing signs that something bad is there. Oh, I think I'll go help that person over there. It's a water wheel! Hey, Jeb. Or Jeb. We walked. And the animals went on the Ark 2x2. Yes. If you hadn't included the piece in the beginning, you silly people. You included some scenes that basically were like, hey, look at these spoiler scenes of you standing in this unusual position. This unusual place. You think that's where the samples are going? Maybe. But how would they get there? Ah, we already found that answer with the confluence sending us to Thavnair. It's a little wonder where this is all going. I would dang well say my gamer sense has got the idea of, well, this star, meaning the planet, be damned, we're going to, create a new one of these places. There, spoilers. We know where they're hiding. Most likely they've recreated this same environment multiple times there, too, because they'll need to. What do you find? Stray tomato! I made a turn here. I need to go up the hill. Up the hill. No one's saying anything in the chat, so quiet, seeing everyone's just happily watching. I'm still all on my own. No friends. Maybe there's a bunch of people hanging out here.
Hard to look away, isn't it?
Oh, it certainly is. And you are?
But they're more than pretty flowers. Heart blooms are attuned to ambient emotion. You don't seem convinced, but believe me, it's true. This ashen grey, for instance, it mirrors the anxiety and urgency of those working nearby as they rush to fulfill sudden orders. Intense feelings like those spur the petals to change colour. Bright glowing hues in the presence of joy, dark subdued shades for frustration or despair. Yet even with the collected wisdom of Sharlayan at our disposal, we've yet to identify the underlying principle of this empathic effect. And there are other mysteries besides. Although the flower is extraordinarily long-lived, its low reproductive rate has made it difficult to find younger populations growing in the wild. With too few sightings to map its distribution, and no closely related species to track, we've been unable to pinpoint its land of origin. To further complicate matters, every culture, even dimly aware of its existence, has given it a different name and mythos. Our attempts to study it via the historical record have been an exercise in frustration. As an avid botanist myself, I should one day like to unravel the Heartbloom's secrets. But I'm afraid other duties must take precedence. I will leave you to your thoughts.
Have you learned aught of interest?
I have.
A flower that reacts to one's feelings? Strange. I must say, I have never heard of such a thing.
This is all very fascinating. But as it stands, we've failed to gain any significant insight into the Forum's undertaking.
Indeed. While there is certainly enough activity to support Erenville's supposition that a priority has been placed on improving food production, unfortunately for our investigation, these workers were never informed as to how their duties serve the master plan.
If only we could interrogate the Forum members directly.
Oh, this ought to prove interesting.
Isn't that the entrance to the Arcane? Look, there. I think that's Erenville.
A little difficult to tell from here, but I think you're right. He did say he was coming down to make his report.
Erenville receives his orders from the Forum. Would it not follow, then, that the superior to whom he reports is a Forum member, or at least a close associate?
You mean to eavesdrop on their conversation? What of the risks?
Ours alone to bear. We won't interfere with Erenville's work, nor will he be implicated as an accomplice. If you're not comfortable taking part, I can do this alone.
Nay. I said myself that I wished to know Father's intentions. And no answers will be forthcoming should we simply ask nicely.
There we go. That's all right,
We can
Spirit.
apologize later, should it come to it. Right now, we need every crumb of information we can get our hands on. Consequences be damned.
Oh, maybe not consequences be damned, but a distinct
It might be
increase.
best if you came along as well. In fact, we should all... Cryo?
Oh, yes. That certainly sounds like a plan.
I'm glad you agree.
Quickly! Erenville is on the move. We need to get closer before we lose him.
Almost. I can almost reach you.
Yes. Freya, stop sitting there and Cryle. Come on. Well, our... Oops. Wait. Ah, is that my anyway? Let's roll. Tiny tank, giant person. I always wonder what happens when you try to put a golem in one of those. I don't think Alizé will be so impressed with that. Luncheon toad? What do you do? Put it on the jelly saw and cut it up for lunch? Oops. Why are you there? Herbert. Here's a bad game of Frogger.
I trust you will find your compensation to be more than satisfactory. We wish to make clear that we are pleased with the efficiency and thoroughness of your work. So much so that we have come bearing new tasks in need of your competent hand.
Another lengthy list. If I may speak frankly, the Gleaners have been pushed to the point of collapse by your unending demands. We are not familiars to be exploited. We are Sharlayan scholars, and we deserve an explanation for this unseemly treatment. What warrants such urgency?
In an age long past, Sharlayan was charged with a momentous duty. And now that word of the final days hangs heavy in the air, the time has come for us to fulfill that charge. I can say no more, but I promise you this. All will be revealed in due course. And when it has, you will understand that your toil was in service to the greatest good.
They're gonna leave those people behind too, aren't they? They're just gonna go, hey, by the way, you.
Then I will do your bidding. For now. But unless you wish the Gleaners to rise up in protest, I advise you to offer tangible improvements for our working conditions. Your promised revelation does nothing to address present circumstances.
A fair point. Your concerns will be conveyed to the Forum.
I have a distinct feeling that it's, you know, it's an evacuation. It's not a migration.
I hope that was informative. You may consider my debt to you repaid in full. While I do have my reservations about the Forum, I want to believe that they have our best interests at heart.
He's a clever
Which is why I'm reassured that you're busy sniffing out the truth of things. We can ill afford to place all our eggs in one basket, this master plan of theirs, without first understanding the risks involved.
Wait! How did you know it was us?
If you mean to impersonate a toad, try studying the real thing. And don't try to fool an expert.
Your performance was a little green. Bad puns away. There's another 28,000 experience. This isn't a migration, it's an evacuation. Well, at least I'm glad you're wearing pants. Dude, give Alizé some space. Alright, now before I do that, I'm going to pop the compass and say 120 southwest. Back in a moment then, Freya. Back in a moment. There it is. Why is that area got a force field around it? Number 9, southeast. Probably down around those cliffs over there, to be honest. Blowing Wolfie boy. Drive the car. Down the hill. Home beach. .79 to the south. Well, that's just not fair. This car does not have the speed to make that jump. Check out the hydraulics in this ride. Best part about the car, all the seats are functional. Bam, bam, bam. Go four-man driving. Boom, boom, boom. Put on the suspension. Second there, I thought Cryle got turned into a toad. Good question. Zoom. Ooh, more oranges? I need more orange power. The scroll technically is 2 hours long. I dove off the edge of that cliff, so I didn't get a very good chance to figure out which is the way back up. Hey, how you doing? Bye. There you go, buddy. Long way around. We're not involved in combat, so... And another orange boost. The Norsican oranges. Great for experience boost. They don't do anything else but boost experience, saving me using the good stuff for later. Kyle? I want to stand around looking at Kyle's. God, where's the rest staring at me?
For you. The spell will keep it from wilting. She said you would need it for the journey ahead.
Heidelin.
Will you speak with her now? I cannot hope to match Minfilia's clarity, of course, but...
Eyes will change from green to blue.
Thank you. Do not worry. She has lent me her body for only a moment. Just as I could not save the first from the flood of light, it has become arduous for me to interact with the physical world without assistance. Though I might converse with you for a time, the incorporeal form I assumed on the ship would be incapable of casting even the simplest enchantment. It is in the depths of the ethereal sea, the place to which all life returns, where my influence is greatest. After Minfilia's sacrifice on the first, it was to the sea, here in the source, where I ferried her soul. I wished that gentle spirit to find rest in the world she loved so well. Her, and another who may yet have a part to play, though that will depend on you. Take the flower, walk free, for you are free, to go where you wish, to believe what you will. That bloom will be your guide, test and proof of your conviction. In darkness, seek joy. Surrender not to sadness, and see beyond despair. Walk free, and bear the light for others to follow. Together, raise it aloft and let it shine, till the end, blinding and radiant.
Okay, key item acquired.
That was all too brief. Already she seems so far away. My apologies if I startled you. Ever since we began our descent into Labyrinthos, I had sensed another's will, straining to reach out.
Glad you're
Even
okay,
with my
Cryle.
particular talents, though, I was unable to make a connection at first. So weak and tenuous it was. Once I took hold of that wispy thread, imagine my surprise to discover it was Heidelin herself. Needless to say, it seemed wise to learn what we could before letting go. Her answers were more cryptic than I would have liked, but at least she left us with a guide of sorts, that unusual flower. Yes, we are definitely making progress.
Key item acquired.
You can't be serious! We've done nothing wrong!
Uh-oh.
Master Fortuno, what business has the Forum with us?
Obstruction and suppression, apparently.
Mistress Baldessian, our records show you facilitated the Scions' entrance into Sharlayan by claiming them as assistants for your organization. We are aware of your investigations. After alerting the major institutions to the presence of potential troublemakers, we received word from an Archean custodian. A group operating under the auspices of the students, skulking about Labyrinthos and engaging in clandestine behavior.
Clandestine? We may not have entered Sharlayan as Scions, but we did naught to conceal our identities. Our only purpose in this city is to seek the truth. I can think of no reason why our actions should warrant the Forum's intervention.
'Tis not our way to discourage the pursuit of knowledge, but the timing of such pursuits must be considered, not to mention their potential impact. With the world in chaos, we, the true caretakers of wisdom, have committed ourselves to an undertaking that demands the utmost discretion. And we will not risk its success by turning a blind eye to disruptive foreign elements in our midst.
What, then, is to be our fate? Will you put us on a ship back to Eorzea?
The Forum will convene to examine your case. The results of said inquiry will determine your future in this city. As for your absent companion, he has already been detained.
Graha! But why? Is reading a crime now, too?
Reading is encouraged, celebrated even. Not, however, of the volumes shelved in the restricted section of the library.
Refusing to comply will only make matters worse. Let us instead treat this as an opportunity to open a dialogue with the Forum.
Not that anyone over here could stop me if I decided to beat the crap out of all of them.
Silence is often one's best defense. I would advise against prolonging the proceedings with frivolous discourse.
You realize, you gotta realize who the heck these guys think
But
they
enough.
are.
This is not the
and scream
place
at
for
you.
debate. The rostra await.
You realize who you're talking with here. You think you can pick on the stuff that I picked on? Really? You're not that strong. Not really. Cryo looks better with her hood down. She really does. I think she's prettier that way.
Forgive me.
Shoot me.
I was careless.
We would have been detained regardless. This way, at least, we managed to stay together. I trust your time within the Forbidden Archives was well spent.
The forum will come to order. This inquiry is now in session. As Speaker-elect, I will be presiding over the day's proceedings. Master Fortuner, would you be so kind as to restate the matter which compelled you to summon your colleagues with such urgency?
All right, let's hear the piece.
As you are all aware, we recently denied Eorzea's request for Sharlayan assistance. Since then, certain individuals dissatisfied with our decision have taken it upon themselves to interfere with our work. They entered our nation masquerading as associates of the students of Baldessian. But these malcontents are better known as the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. These militants wield influence with both the Eorzean and Eastern alliances, and are inextricably involved with the crises presently afflicting the world at large. Loose in our city, these warmongers sought to meddle with and expose matters of state secret. What are they, if not a dire threat to be expelled?
You have tarnished the good name of the students. Galuf would be ashamed.
Galuf Baldessian was never one to forsake his fellow man. Even if this nation closed every door and retreated from the world, he would have found a way to help the Scions, help every soul of this star fight back against the coming doom.
A terrible enemy stands poised to lay waste to all we hold dear. In the face of such madness, Eorzea reached out to Sharlayan, a respected ally, in the hopes of forming a united front. Was your curt dismissal truly the best you could offer? Or are you so preoccupied with your momentous duty of an age long past that even the end of the world is unworthy of your attention?
Whence came this revelation?
From the mouth of a forum member within fortuitous earshot.
Then it seems your findings support my own. The reason I visited the restricted shelves was to study records of the Forum's policymaking process, to better understand the historical trends underlying their most major decisions. At first glance, the positions of neutrality in war and the accumulation of knowledge above all else appear constant and consistent, the unchanging pillars of Sharlayan society. And once upon a time, I might have left it at that. These days, however, I am more attuned to the subtleties of governance, and so I noticed something odd. From a particular point in time, the purpose of these policies shifted. No longer was knowledge preserved for the benefit of society. Rather, society was to be gradually reshaped to ensure the preservation of knowledge. The most conspicuous and telling change was the one which befell Labyrinthos. Once little more than an oversized storehouse, an enormous allocation of funds saw it transformed into an advanced research and archival facility. I also discovered a fascinating account on the finances of our Dravanian colony. The settlement attracted students from far and wide, and the connections and tuition fees thus acquired were funneled into further improvements for the archives. Now, there is no question that our nation's progress is tied to the acquisition of wisdom. Nevertheless, the vast resources diverted for this purpose borders on the obscene. But returning to the matter of when, our change in course appears to have been made some 270 years ago.
The very same period when Sharlayan scholars in the hinterlands began a formal study of the ethereal sea. You found something, did you not? And whatever it was, gave rise to your oh-so-important duty.
Mind your tongue, Archon. If you had seen...
Yes. We are bound by a duty we cannot ignore. Knowing this, what would you have us do? Abandon our vital work and join you on the field of battle? We will never choose the way of the sword. We will fulfill our mission, not through strife and bloodshed, but survival. Come what may, we shall live on. We must.
Do as you must, then. But we Scions will fight until the heavens fall, until our last breath.
Such misguided zeal.
Father, Master Fortuno. I fail to understand the stance you have elected to take. But by the same token, I have yet to find a compelling argument to counter the challenge you put to us in Gridania. Still, in the midst of my uncertainty, I must trust in myself to do what is right, as others have chosen to trust in me.
Nice, dude.
So I will continue, as I always have, weighing the consequences of my every action, and allowing my hope for the future to inform my decisions.
That's quite enough. Have you all forgotten the reason for this assembly?
Skolok Monteshane. He's the head of the Studium and an old friend of my grandfather's.
Honestly, every discussion devolves into some interminable debate. Terrible habit. Let's return to the topic at hand, By their own admission, these Scions have resolved to fight alongside the Eorzean nations against the doom which swift approaches. But there exists no evidence of an attempt to incite our citizens to do the same. Furthermore, while our decision may well have been the correct one, we cannot simply bull our way through these disagreements without inviting doubts or objections. Put yourselves in their place. Who among you would leave a tome unopened if an elder forbid you read it with no reason given? Now, if we're to quell further discontent, then we must conclude this matter with a fair and even hand.
Thank you. a reasoned argument, and a well-stated element.
Order! We will have order!
2 hamburgers and a cheeseburger, please.
Master Montaigne raises some valid points. Keeping such concerns in mind, I propose we enforce the following measures. Until further notice, the students of Baldesion are to cease any and all activities within the domain of Sharlayan. You will also refrain from any further investigation into the Forum's decisions and duties. Failure to comply with these restrictions will result in the immediate expulsion of your Scion associates.
Some debate there. You just as one guy, I'm going to lay it down from on high.
Let us put this judgment to a vote. All in favor, raise your hand.
Now, if you're going to do it anyway, not all of you are raised your hands.
I count 51 for and 48 against. The proposal is passed. Students, Scions, you have heard the Forum's judgment. Pray abide by it, or face the consequences. Honored members, I thank you for your time. This inquiry is concluded.
I guess that head doesn't fit so well, those ears. We found Kyle! Oh wow, long load. It's gonna be a lot of people at this point. The questions are gonna be like, aha! Outside. All right. Let's return to the students of Baldesion and find... thank you. And find answer. Oh, never mind. We'll go straight here then. I know, we should go back to the hall and decide what to do, like everyone else. Panic. Hey! Oh, wow. Don't hit on this lady. Do you want to get into all sorts of trouble? Close your mouth. She'll just slap him. I figured. Oh. Okay. Me, Thalen Darkfire? Yeah, me. Here's God. Indeed. Going for a cup of tea, are we? Looks like it. You with a good cuppa. Why do I have a funny feeling that there's... Oh? She kind of the girl that's got pink unicorns in her house, in her room. Something tells me she was ever the bookworm that never quite fit in. More akin to many of the people we run into online, actually. So it's only a house. I have a funny feeling her social status made it hard for her to make friends with people. Oh, 417. Oh, call it in about.
Welcome home, my lady.
Voice acting. Nice, neat press slacks for everyone. Nice house. Good tea.
What? What are you gawping at?
I'm just admiring the craftsmanship.
Oh, I suppose I never gave the decor much thought. I'm glad that you approve, I think.
Lord Fourcheneau is not to hear of this visit. And I should also like the children to have their gifts, ere my husband makes his return.
As you wish, my lady.
Zippy-doo, off you go.
Master Alphino, Mistress Alice, if you'd accompany me upstairs.
They've got new outfits and new gear.
We shan't be long.
That's what it is. I suspect Alphino, because we saw him in the piece, had Sage's equipment. For the longest time, he's been playing sort of a pseudo-scholar.
The twins have been sending letters home from time to time, recounting their latest adventures. I am sure they withhold certain details, of course, if only to keep me from worrying. Yet a mother worries all the same. In the early days especially, I tried to support them as best I could, sending the Scion's coin and other such donations. Fortunately, they have found the strength to overcome adversity time and time again. Their words grow more confident with every letter, their depictions more vivid. The triumphs and defeats, the joys and sorrows. 'Tis clear that they have come to find value in every experience.
As we all should. As we all should.
But of those they treasure most, it would seem that meeting you might be the most impactful. Why, since that fateful day, I do believe there has not been a single missive in which you were not mentioned by name.
Ah. The degree of...
'Tis plain they care for you, and I am glad they have such a steadfast companion watching over them.
Indeed.
Under normal circumstances, I would offer you tea, but alas, these are anything but. In any event, why don't you keep me company whilst we await my children's return? Perhaps you might regale me with a tale or two of your exploits.
How badly do you want me to frighten you, lady? From fishing on the grand seas to scaling grand walls and beating armies.
When you mentioned gifts, I wasn't sure what to expect. Mother,
Nice boots.
Oh, look how well it fits you. And the style is to your liking?
It's perfect. Exactly what I would have chosen. But please, tell me you had something different made for Alphino.
Naturally. You are hardly little children anymore. And while I shall miss dressing you in those precious matching outfits, I must respect the individuals you have grown to become. See for yourself.
Thank you for the splendid clothes, Mother. Stylish, comfortable, and eminently practical.
I am so glad you like them. They are, however, missing one final touch.
If you'd allow me, Master Alphino.
There they are.
Wait. Are these...
Grandfathers?
A sage's tools of the trade. They belonged to your father. Though he may as well be chained to his desk these days, as a student he was often called upon to venture into the field. He wielded those armaments, both to heal and to harm in no few battles. None so fierce as those you two have braved, perhaps, but battles nonetheless. Thus did I pull them out of storage, to show you that he was not always the man who stands in vehement opposition to you now. And also because it would be a terrible waste of ridiculously expensive House Leveilleur commissioned artistry. I am told these devices are quite difficult to master, but someone of your extensive experience should soon have them darting about with grace and aplomb.
Plum.
May the wisdom in that
Well, there's an
crystal
old word
serve
I
you
don't
well.
have in my vocabulary.
And please, try to find common ground with your father, that you might come and go without need for this awful subterfuge.
He's actually earned his first job stone. Nice!
We will, Mother. I promise.
Well, even when he was working
My
as a
final
scholar.
gifts to you before you run off are an observation and a suggestion.
Oh?
Firstly, Fortuno has ever been a serious man, but it was only after you were born that he truly lost himself in his work. I may not know the Forum's inner workings, but I know your father's. The timing of that change in him holds some significance. Secondly, do not seek to best your father with words. Far better that you simply show him. Let him discover the merit of your actions, after they cannot be undone.
Better to ask forgiveness than to ask permission.
Oh, Mother.
We shall take your wisdom to heart. Thank you again for these gifts, and farewell for now.
Safe travels, my children. Eat well, stay warm, and keep your friends close.
And now for one last jaunt over. So now we have the two... Oh, the truth, Alphino's never, even though he played as a scholar kind of class with the scholar logo, he never really had a fairy of his own. He only ever used a carbuncle, a moonstone carbuncle, or an obsidian carbuncle. So he kind of was playing a arcanist in the healer form, sort of like rigging up all his wearing healer gear as an arcanist kind of effect. In truth, right? You know, you pull out your fairy next to him, you stood next to him with the fairy, and I was like, oh hey, why don't you have one of these? Right? And I'm sure everyone looked at him and went, yeah, we want the Moonstone Carbuncle. Then we see him with the next color, so it's like, ah! Then you go to like Idleshire, and there's someone with a great big one, and you're like, oh! Like, what? It's so huge! Why can't I have a big one too? Like, come on. Now they gave us edgy glamours, which I have all set up here. These are literally, each one of these is to, this one causes ruby carbuncle, topaz carbuncle, emerald carbuncle, and this will turn them back into their titan, freak, and Garuda forms. An interesting bottom for the bunny. Okay, so huzzah! And that's where the two groups join up. let's start the next piece. And this is just a straight data pass. It'll be a quick cutscene with or without audio. I don't know. Here's everything we know, and that looks like a fairy on the wall.
Your time in Thavnair has certainly been eventful. In my opinion, carrying out Vitra's request and assaulting the Tower of Zot should be our highest priority.
I agree. While I still have questions concerning the Forum and their grand undertaking, we have all but exhausted our avenues of investigation. Simply pressing them any harder on the subject will almost certainly result in our expulsion. Therefore, I suggest we explore the ethereal sea connection by way of a letter to Master Matoya, then make our way to Thavnair.
I wonder, even with the protection these talismans afford us, what can we hope to achieve once inside the tower? According to Orenvold and Fodola's report, they were unable to free the Emolja. Worse, their attempts triggered the tower's defenses, which led to a summoning of Luna Ifrit.
And killed the occupants.
What does it tell us that the Spires even have such defenses? Simply pulling a prisoner from the wall is fatal, thus the direct approach is doomed to failure from the outset. Any further measures to dissuade such actions seem unnecessary. Unless, of course, there is a way to free the prisoners without killing them. Then it stands to reason that any intruders will be met with overwhelming force.
The towers appeared throughout the world in but the twinkling of an eye. 'Twas by magical means these structures were raised, I surmise. A spire thus conjured must needs be maintained, and I suspect an arcane catalyst, some manner of core, doth lie hidden within. Destroy the core, and the tower ceaseth to be, thus liberating the captives without harm.
So we can hope, and I would prefer to enter the tower with a working theory than with no plan at all.
Assuming Ishtola's reasoning is correct, the chances of the defenses remaining dormant are small to none. Any primals will have to be dealt with, and defeating one will likely only lead to the summoning of another. Our every victory will only compound the prisoner's suffering.
May we not then divide our forces? Those proficient in healing will focus on sustaining the captives. That duty can be covered by Urianger, Kryl, Yostola, and myself. The remaining scions will proceed with the search for the core. Admittedly, this strategy puts both parties at greater risk, but it should bolster our chances of saving the Arcosodra by a considerable margin. That she does. But I think Alize herself would assert that she's at her best when she's charging onto the breach. And from what I recall from the Grand Cosmos, there's a spring in her step when she fights by your side.
Ye gods, will you never let me hear the end of that? Rest assured that I will do what is asked of me, regardless of who I happen to be standing next to at any given time.
It seems we have a plan. All that remains is to carry it out. I will inform Radzat Han of our movements, so let us make our preparations and regroup near the tower.
The military post in what's left of the Hamsa hatchery should serve as a convenient staging point.
That sounds perfect. And remember, the experimental aetherite at the confluence is there for those who need it, so there's no excuse for being late.
It's gonna make a few people puke. Well, I seem to have gotten to a point in the run that's got to a long quest run from here out. So, Close enough to the end to be the end, as it so speaks. So we will just whiz our way back over to the work, once this finds an instance to bring us to. There we go. And we'll end right there, I think. I suspect the next run will take at least longer than I intend to run the stream for. So, with all that, I believe we are going to be done out for the evening here. So, once again, we are Thalen Darkfire. This is our adventure through the MSQ of Final Fantasy in a very squeaky squeak chair. But tune in next time for more of the same. Same time, same channels. Be there next time.